G'day, legends. How are you? It's episode 9, I believe, of the Form Hunter, and we're back in with the middle of winter little catch up here with just the 3 meetings here in New Zealand. There is a few good Group 1 races over at Albion Park on Saturday night. They've got the Constellations tournament. Fucking can't remember what it's called, but it's over there in Queensland. But yeah, we're just going to be starting off on the Thursday night. Race number 2 at Addington, straight into it, We won't muck around. Midnight Train to Georgia. Now, this horse here, if we just look at it on paper, we've got Alexi, who's a 12-year-old gelding, absolute legend of the game. But he's probably been running around in too many races. But last start third, could it be his time today? I don't think so, personally. But go ahead and back him just because he's 12 years old. But the tip for this one is Midnitetraintogeorgia. I think Alexi doesn't have much gate speed. Ultimate Bird might roll to the top initially, but then Midnitetraintogeorgia will definitely be going forward, I'd say, and then potentially handing up to Tommy's on a Roll, who's the other Matt Purvis runner in this, who looks like it's flying at the moment. Tommy's on a Roll. Really nice first 2 starts ago, and then backed it up with a nice 4th from the back row draw at Addington. That's always tricky. So Midnitetraintogeorgia is the top selection in this one, just because I think it's going to get to the top, and John Dunn is going to be able to dictate terms and maybe hand up to Tommy's on a Roll. But this is a good run here, as it was coming in off 2 trials, 56-7 last 800 to La Rosa, Mark Jones's horse, and then we go to its last start, where You Are the One for Terry Schmiel, who's subsequently come out and won again last Sunday. So it's gone back to back there, You Are the One. So that's some good form, decent enough sectionals. I think there was a really strong 2nd or 3rd quarter that Midnitetraintogeorgia had to deal with here. So we pick him up here on a nice sunny day on the 3rd of July, which was a week and a half ago now. Didn't come out like I thought Midnitetraintogeorgia was going to come out, but just sort of was a bit slow to get away, but then really got into its work nicely, Midnitetraintogeorgia. And then John Dunn was able to just fight for the lead, but really had to work there to get to the top. And eventually that was the undoing of the race. Any horse has to take the first 800 meters to get to the top is going to be hard to stick on, but you can see it was a pretty brave effort down the back here. Is who was it racing up on the outside? It's a Sure Thing was probably over racing a touch and making us work even more. And then John Dunn just said, nah, we got to have a go here. They try and catch a few off the bit, which he did for the most part. But then the last sort of 300-400 meters, you can see he's just flat to the boards, and Midnitetraintogeorgia just sticks on. And You Are the One's able to come off its back, and 4-star Shiraz able to kick on and get second, and then Michael House one Tellison comes home from the back. But you can see sticking on for a 4th, that's a nice enough effort. Only going to be fitter for that run, and I think it can definitely get the chocolates. And John Dunn could be a John Dunn special. Lead, hand up to the right horse, and get up the passing lane. I think it's a better horse if it's got to sit. And saying that most horses are, if they can get that beautiful run on the leader's back and they have a bit of sprint speed, then they've got a chance up the lane. But Tommy's on a roll. The sliding blinds do go on. So it's going to be a very forward showing. I think Robbie Close in form, Matt Purvis stable flying. Tommy's on a roll, probably going to come out for a look. So maybe quinella, those two. But Midnitetraintogeorgia might be the better value. Just not too sure on that one. But then we go to race number 4, and finally, a horse who's been knocking on the door, Royal Pride, gets a well-deserved win. And might I ask, when we bring this up, this was a bloody huge effort, and Sam Thornley was sitting quiet as a church mouse, really, and sort of just took his time with this horse. And it has been a long time coming, but yeah, he just sort of sat back in the running line there, then slow mid-race sectionals, moved around to the breeze, went up and put pressure to Cody Banner. Cody Banner galloped, and then you can just see Royal Pride go to another gear there, and no one's going to catch that thing. And look at him just sitting quiet as anything. So I think the horse has got another gear for sure. Fred Fletcher knows how to get him ready. And the one thing with trotters, you really do want to follow them when they're hot. But yeah, so Sam Thornley's getting the drive again. No handicaps, as it is on the mobile. And I think Royal Pride's just going to be a real good show again. So definitely a good top 3 chance. But I think Royal Pride can definitely win that race. I think Spider Moment's going all right, but without threatening. Phoebe Imperial is probably the danger. And then Prince Tech is always just the classic battler who's going to the front and trying to stay there as long as he can. So interesting race, that one. But then we go to race number 7, Soviet Star. This is a horse that's caught my eye a couple times now for Terry Neal and Terry Schmiel driving. So a bit of a tongue twister there, but thought this was a very good run here. This is behind Khal Drogo, who was a very good winner here on Sunday, and Miss Molly Good Golly ran a good second. But Soviet Stunner, drawn barrier 7, got a bit of a flyer here, but there was really quick beginners on the inside there, and then Soviet Stunner went up and pressured for the lead down the back straight there and just sat in the breeze and really had to just sit park and sit tough in this race. And there's some good horses in here, and I thought Soviet Star, really stuck to his tasks nicely. And you can see as they come to the top of the stretch here, it's fighting on bravely, and Khal Drogo just goes on by. And then, sorry, this was a couple of weeks ago, and then Khal Drogo came out and won again. So was getting a bit tired there in the run home, Soviet Star, but I think this field with no handicap is definitely going to be a good top 3 winning chance again. I think it can step. Terry Schmiel got the right hands for it. And then Cheezel and Mikey Maguire. Mikey Maguire's absolutely flying at the moment and probably can't eat into that 35 meters, but it's just a horse that I just didn't think would be winning. So I'm prepared to risk it. Cheezel, one of my fave horses. She's honest as ever. And but I think Soviet Star can get the job done there in race number 7. We got a race number 8, the very next one. Very open race. We do have first class in here. Purdon horse. They don't have too many entered through the winter, so you've got to keep your eye on these ones. I think you definitely got to have it in if you're having quaddies first, quaddies and trifectas, pick sixes, whatever you're going to do. But Happy Place really did enjoy the run of this horse after winning twice in the hands of Cherie Wig and then Blair Wilmot on the Amateur Drivers Series. Actually was the horse that Blair drove to secure the dub. So congratulations to Blair. That was a good effort driving. And then you can see here from barrier number 2, Bob Butt was able to get it out of the gates. Not blistering gate speed, but I do think Giselle is one of the fastest ones out of the gate we've seen at Addington for a while now. It was like shot out like a rocket. So I think Happy Place does have enough gate speed to potentially find the top in that race. And I just thought the way it got held up here in the run home, I think we can bring it up just shortly. So yeah, Giselle begins to stop, and then Blair Orange is trying to get into the Captain Crunch passing lane, and then Bob Butt's like, oh, I can't go down there, there's no room for me. And then he goes, oh, there's a little gap in the middle, oh no, that closes, oh, lock wheels, oh god. And then by then the horse has lost all of its momentum, and Happy Place does a really good effort to pick it up and get into third quite nicely there. So that was an interesting race last Friday, I believe it was. And I don't know, looking through this field, Boarding Call was good down south. Matthew Williamson, Brad Williamson combined. You don't often see that, so you got to respect that combo. And then Marin Franco, good horse. I like it. J.R. Bromack, decent horse as well, but first class in there as well. But yeah, I'd just like to see if Happy Place can push the button early, get to the top and dictate things and be winning again. So that's race number 8. And then we go to one of the better bets of the night for me, a horse that just gets in here really nicely, Heaven on High. Now, this is a horse that ran, I believe, on Cup Day or Kaikoura Cup Day that was run at Addington last year. and it's a horse with showing a bit of ability. In its last 3 starts, it's placed. We look through this field, and there's no one really scary to challenge us here. We've got probably, honestly, I'm looking at the field, and I don't think anyone can win apart from Geordie, and he's drawn Barrier 9 over the 1980. That's just not his go in life. Geordie has been going some great races, and obviously now trained by Robert and Jenna Dunn, but heaven on high for Ben Hope and Greg and Nina Hope. Ben Hope's due a win. He hasn't driven a winner for a while, but you can see this is a nice third in behind Ajira, a nice third in behind Absolute Dynamite, a nice second in behind Olive Cook. It's a horse with good gate speed, and when needed, it can definitely show a bit of toe and a bit of grit. And so there's a good, some Hale Lucius is in here. Ruby's a delight. It's been an honest mare recently. JR Bromack, Absolute Dynamite. So it definitely drops back in class here. Heaven on High. Didn't use the gate speed here, but it does have some. So don't be too concerned about that. And then it's just a horse that's finishing well in these high grade races. So back in class, and we'll just pick up his sprint here in the run home. Sitting 3 back in the running line. Ben Hope's got a handful of horse there. He pulls out 3 wide and gives it a little, yeah, but sort of a bit held up there as Maddie Williamson goes to the inside and then goes back out. And then you can see Ben Hope gets to the outside now and asks for an effort, pulls the plugs, removes the deafeners or whatever you want to call it. And then Hale Lucius buckling up the inside, but Heaven on High really slashing run here at the line, doing its best work late. So should be really winning this race. That last race was in a 45 to 49. It was a very competitive 45 to 49, I have to say. But this is a 43 to 48. So if it's ever going to win a race again, it's got to be this one. Barrier 3, Ben Hope's got to be positive, got to go forward, get to the front. 1980, dictate terms, be too hard to be too good to run down. Then we go to race 7, Alex Park on the Friday night. Bad Medicine. I'm unsure what they're going to open this horse at. It's an interesting sort of race, this. We've got a few races at Alexandra Park where I absolutely no idea who's going to be winning what. But I would like to have one investment there, and that is Bad Medicine. A horse that had about 10 or so placings in a row before it went down to Addington for the Rado races and was, I think, 3 wide or off the track for the majority of that race and stuck on for a nice sort of midfield finish. But then it went and had a spell after that, and it's come back, had a couple runs. It should be getting rock hard fit now. And it's a horse that's been very much backed from big odds to run places in previous races through the beginning of this year. I think it was around the Manawatu 2 Cup time. So ran some nice races, and we pick it up here with a nice field, but it isn't handicapped. So you can see here we've got a second behind Rough and Ready, we've got a fourth behind A Taste of Honey, we got a third behind Rough and Ready, and that was all just similar sort of racing as is what it's going to get tonight on Friday night. And then we've got this one here where the most recent start at Alexandra Park, just not its go in life, I don't think, was sort of always sort of chasing them here, didn't really get off the gate well, you know, dragged back to last at Alexandra Park. It's always hard to make up ground, and you know, 4 or 5 back in the running line, then the moves come, and then Bad Medicine was just a bit too late to get onto the roll. And you can see it was a good run, decent enough to the line there. And Bad Medicine, I reckon it's a horse with ability. I think it's got good manners. I think Todd Mitchell, Tick, Arna Donnelly, trainer into some hot form. Bad Medicine, over the 2,700 meters, not a handicap. If it steps and it holds that lead, could be very hard to run down. Very good each way money. Hopefully they offer a decent quote, but the TAB have probably been stung too many times by this horse that they'll have a wee red flag over it. So Bad Medicine, race number 7 at Alexandra Park, one of the better bets of the weekend for me. Definitely top 3 wise. I think it's almost a moral, or top 3, top 4 moral. You've just got to have it in there. But anyway, we move to Sunday. Race number 3, Pembrooks Princess. Interesting horse, this one. Really liked its run last start. Fresh up, Ben Hope, just absolutely traveling, you'd have to say. And this 8 out of 8, don't be too concerned about this, because they finished all within about one or two lengths. And the start is crucial here for Pembrooks Princess. You can see her wide out on the arm, and she just rolls forward with ease and gets the top. No worries at all. We have this Raging On Matt Purvis runner who was backed into about $1.75, and it's just good tactics there from Ben Hope. I mean, you want to just give and go that and be on the back of the $1.80, and it should take you all the way to the lane. However, Raging On fell asleep and hit the beach, was able to go up and get the rest of the lead off Raging On, and then that left Pembrooks Princess 3 back the fence, and then hit the beach, was traveling at the top of the lane, and Raging On had every chance to go up the passing lane, and then there was no run sort of there for Ben Hope. There was a little bit of a gap there on the inside of John Dunn now, but Ben chose to just stay in there, and the hood's still on, so it's got a handful of horse there, lap full of horse, I'd say. And if Pembroke Princess got out and had a run, and no doubt in my mind it was that running a top 3. So she's got good gate speed, she's got a good draw. Ben Hope knows what to expect with this horse. And then we have an upsized me Telfer horse off the barrier 1. So it could just be similar tactics again as last Sunday, but it might work a bit better because there's not too many horses in this race that are showing a lot apart from those two. So it should be a 2-horse race. Upsize Me was a really nice trial, albeit it was a little bit rough in its gait. So happy to bet back against it, to be honest. Even though it is a Telfer horse off the ace with Tim Williams engaged, it'll probably no doubt be short. But I think I might take the value on Pembrooks Princess there. And if Ben Hope gets to the front, he can almost give and go again to the favourite and upsize me and maybe get it up the passing lane. Who knows? A bit of an exciting fixture there. But then we go down to race number 6. Move It On Over. Another mobile fixture. Here it is in race number 6. And another Purvis horse. The trend continues. Just going to look in the form here. We've got a 6 out of 10 La Sabina. The Dalgety horse goes good. Frank Burns goes good. Forvo Gambler, one okay. Yankee J, that goes all right. Petrify, that one okay as well. And then a Classical Act, who looks a very talented horse. And this is the race, excuse me, we're going to look at, because a Classical Act, wow. I think it's a horse with plenty of ability, and showed a bit on debut, really. John Dunn managed to rev it up. There wasn't too much gate speed on the inside. Bobby Waterhouse was also in this race as well, but you can see Moving On Over there, number 11 on the back row. Traveling okay, he appears to have maybe a touch of gate speed. It's been on the Unruly, I believe, so haven't seen too much gate speed, but if I trawled back farther enough in the archives, there's probably some gate speed on it, and the way it was traveling at the start of this race, I think definitely can get to the front. Anyway, 3 wide move. Goes on by, gets to the top in a 2,600 meter race, doing a bit of work this far out. You can often be finding a little bit, the lungs are burning at the end of the race, but this horse just keeps going at the top here. The straight is traveling as good as anything. Obviously, the Dunn horse here is basically jogging in behind, but Moving On Over shows a good kick here, and John Dunn has to give it a few reminders up on the inside, and then it goes on by. But Moving On Over, shows another bit of a fight there, and yeah, I thought it was a very nice eye-catching run. And obviously Bobby Waterhouse is going to be winning a race soon, and was able to beat that home to the line after doing some mid-race maneuvers. So Moving On Over finds a very winnable race here. Drawn handy, Tim Williams engaged. Just should be really getting to the front. Hit the beach, and Colin De Philippi might go out and have a look-see. Blair Orange, Chrysalin, Ken Barron, they're a dangerous combo. You have to respect them. They'll probably go forward. But I think Moving On Over, if it wrestles the front, it looks like a big, nice, striding horse. And I think Moving On Over should be getting the chocolates on Sunday. So that's the New Zealand tips out of the way. We'll briefly just touch on the Aussie ones and try and wrap up this video as quick as I can, because it's getting a bit late here. Wednesday night, 12:53 a.m. I'm a bit of a pest doing all this form, but I love it. So just got to get it out for the people. So Thursday, Kilmore. Race number 6, Gilligans Island. This horse was with Graham Court and was a really good, decent horse in the summer, running around on the grass and all of the country cups and stuff. So it's got a very good barrier 1 draw, I believe. We'll just bring that up just to double clarify. Race number 6 here, barrier 2, and it is with Jess Tubbs and Greg Sugars. So good stable, good barrier draw over the mile, no trials I can see, and is fresh up since the summer of December 2021. So it's been off the scene for about 6 months now, 6-7 months. So it's definitely probably had a few workouts, but nothing that I can see on the Australian Harness website. But the class alone should take it a long way in this race, and drawn barrier 2 helps as well. But we do have Von Arden here, Emma Stewart and Mark Pitt combining. She has been an absolute machine since arriving in Australia. Look at that picket fence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wins in a row. This horse was with Maddie Williamson not too long ago, about halfway through last year, winning an amateur drivers race at Addington Raceway. And I think Maddie was interviewed, and Maddie said, yeah, she tries her hardest, and she goes all right, but we'll probably send her off to Aussie. Little did he know, this horse has sprouted wings since arriving in Australia, and she's nearly won $100,000 in stakes money over there. So she's going as good as anything, and she's drawn to get a pretty cozy run. It is over the mile, so just one on the second row there could be a little bit tricky, but Gilligan's Island Von Art, you're definitely going to be watching those two battle it out. Then we go to race number 8, Diamonds and Cash, one of my fave horses. Brecon breed, of course. Shout out to the Breckons. Brecon Farms, beautiful horses they've got. Anyway, self-promo for the boys. Shout out Brecon Farms. But here we go, race number 8 at Kilmore. Diamonds and Cash. This horse has been off the scene for a while, but it's won a few races at about $30 or $40, and it really just surprises at odds. But it's got good gate speed, and it can do it all, really. But this time it was buried away 4 fence and just sort of got every sort of chance to run up the passing lane, and then just hit the hopples nicely and ran in for a nice third. And I thought it comes back in class almost. There's not too many in here. We got Jawbreaker, who goes all right. That could be at decent odds. You could play that off the ace. But I think Diamonds and Cash, Andy Gath, Kate Gath, good combos. Tipped them out on my Twitter a few times. It is going to be a short price favorite, but I think the 2,100 meter suits and Diamonds and Cash can get the chocolates. Moving on to Friday night, Major Jealous, race number 4. If you guys are enjoying the podcast and made it this far through, let me know. Give it a like, subscribe if you're new, and we just try and find winners for you. I'm the form hunter, Eddie Patterson. Yeah, go on, keep going. Let's keep pushing. Race number 4, Major Jealous. There it is. It's taken a little time to get that. But here we go. Like the horse with the McCarthy's, willing to forgive this run, really. Not the best gate speed horse. Comes out for a look-see, is about 3 wide briefly, slots into the running line. Very hot, 26.6 first quarter at Albion Park. Then at sub 30, so the speed's on here. And then he goes, fuck it, I've just got to go 3 wide and get this horse in the race because we're too far back on a hot speed. There's not going to be too much ground made up here. So they're all off the bit, running down the back. 28-1, third quarter. The speed is on, and we are just 3 wide, trying to sustain a run. And Major Jealous goes, nah, fuck that. I can't be fucked anymore. But actually does stick to its task okay, and only loses by about 4 lengths. And a 28-4 final quarter, 152.5 mile rate. So Major Jealous, that was a handy run. And I think this field is definitely weaker than the one it ran 7th in last start. So I think class alone should take it a long way in this race. And, smaller field has a chance to just sort of get a sit and then have one shot at them. But yes, I'm aware that the barrier 7 isn't fun, and it could be the death of Major Jealous, but happy to go with him. The ex-Barry Purdon horse. Then we go to Wagga. Wagger on a Friday, it can be dangerous. It really can. But we are going to go to race number 8. We've got the Alana Pitt stable, which I tend to follow over there. Adam Richardson getting the drive, Quick Step. Now, this third here, this is a horse that was running around in Queensland, has some good ability. Went back to the trials, got it right with Alana Pitt in the bike, then comes out and was off the gate by a mile. We'll just bring up the video. You can see it right there. She's about 10 lengths off the gate, and Quick Step's always chasing them. I think that was just because it's just been a really naughty horse, Quick Step, but able to tuck into the running line. And this not to be denied leader is going around on a Group 1 at Albion Park on Saturday night, drawn barrier 1, and I have got it as one of my top selections on the Saturday night. And you can see, not to be denied, just asked for a little bit of an effort here, but this is just sort of a warm-up for this Saturday. And you can see Quick Step descending down the outside with quick steps, I might add, really hits the line nicely. So that was in a rating up to 58, and it gets the same grade again. Obviously out on the unruly, don't know if it is the unruly, but I would say the manners aren't up to par for this horse. So Quick Step's going to be out on barrier number 8. But I just thought, if it's on the gate, that's all the links it has to make up, and it would have won that race, theoretically. So I think Quick Step could be running around at some genuine odds. And yeah, not afraid to just have a little something, a little bob each way on that one. Then we go to race number 9. King of Trump's been following it for a while now. This horse has been racing week in, week out for the last sort of 2 months. That is the one red flag, probably getting a bit tired, but in this race here, look at it, leave the arm, barrier 6, shot out like a cannon, gets straight to the front and just rolls them along. It's just a horse that just goes. Every week it just turns up, leads from wherever it's drawn, and just gets off the bit with about 400 meters to go and just keeps going. It just has one engine on it. So it was beaten up the passing lane there by Romane, but it was coming back at the line, would you believe? This horse is tough as nails. And drawn barrier 4, but it is up in class on Friday. So the one thing is, I do think it will be in front, but it's probably just more of a top 3 chance on Friday night. But, you know, interesting one to have for sure on your Friday night. King of Trumps, good gate speed. You probably got a good chance that it's going to be on the top at some stage and early in the race. And, you know, it's got options there to hand up to the right horse and be running into the money. So that's at Wagger. Then we go to race number 2, Newcastle. This horse, Magic Moment. It was with Mark Jones here in New Zealand, and now it's over with Andrew Ison, Tom Ison. They're a bit of a interesting stable to follow. They either go hard and get the job done easily, or, you know, shoot and score, but they do have a go. And Magic Moments had a nice win at Addington Raceway. So any win at Addington Raceway stacks up an Aussie for sure. Drawn the ace, it should probably just be winning. It's an NR56 rated horse. So yeah, just think it should be winning really. And race number 2 at Newcastle. Then we go to race number 6, Geelong, Mosaic Art. I think this was with Michael Purdon here in New Zealand, and it's now over with Emma Stewart, I believe. Yeah, Emma Stewart, Connor Clark combining here. Interesting sort of race. Drawn barrier 3, the last start 6th, after winning 3 in a row. It did have about, I think it was drawn 5th on the back row, so there's some excuses there for that run, and it wasn't too far away from the eventual leader, so I think you can forgive that. It's got some gate speed. It will probably be on top. The ace horse will probably hand up to Mosaic Art because it's definitely going to get them to the passing lane. So Mosaic Art's probably going to be in front and dictating terms, and you probably do want to have a little bob on that one. Then we get into the big races. Saturday night, Albion Park, how are ya? We got the Golden Girl, the Garrard's Golden Girl Group 1. We've got the Garrard Sunshine Sprint Group 1. We've got the 2-year-old final Group 1. And we've got a whole bunch of Group 3s and Group 2s. So interesting lineup there. And we can just go straight into the markets here because they're up on Bet365. And this is the horse I was talking about. Race number 2, Not to Be Denied, was a really nice winner last start. Drawn Barrier 1, I think it's just a horse that just goes and goes and goes. Just has a bit of a good engine, but this is a very hot field. Amore Vita on the back row, Cover Girl last start winner, the Iron Lady, she's capable enough. Steno, really nice trial to prepare for this. $3.40 is very enticing, especially with the gate speed. And Jack Callaghan. But I think this is one of my favorite races of the weekend. I think it's open enough that I'm not too sure who could be winning it, but I'd like to say you've got to have Not to Be Denied, Steno, the Iron Lady, Cover Girl, and Amore Vita are all, you've got to have them. Just keep them safe. You definitely got to, if you're doing quaddies or early quaddies or whatever, have them safe. We did actually miss out race 1. And that's going to be Ronaldo, who's been winning races for fun the last 2 starts and in really slick mile rates, and didn't actually have a lot of luck last start, even though it was a win. Had to do things pretty tough and was just basically sprinting the whole race and was out on his feet the last quarter. But by then the damage had been done and all the horses were off the bit and no one was coming over that. You'd have to be bloody Lazarus to win from there. So Ronaldo Drawn Barrier 2, perfect cut. I've tipped him out the last 2 weeks. They're going head to head, but Ronaldo's drawn better, so willing to go with Ronaldo. We've covered race number 2. We've got race number 4, our next one, and that's Majestic Harry here, and it's a mobile Group 3 over the mile, and Jack Callaghan gets the drive. He's driven him the last couple starts, and it was a second in the Group 1 over the distance of 2,600 meters last start. And that was in behind Global Flight, who's in this race also. But Barrier 1 over the mile here in the Group 2 at Albion Park, Jack Callaghan, he's going to be positive. You're getting, let me just double check. You're getting 850 and 250. I think it's a genuine each way chance. Can't be taking the 260 on Tough Monarch. I think Majestic Harry just loves Albion Park, and if he was ever going to win a race, this is it. He's just got to get it done, really. Then we go to race number 6, Town Echo. $34 has been offered for this thing, and just nothing went right really on its debut at Albion Park. I'll bring the race up just briefly, just to have a look, because it was a pretty heartbreaking watch here. We're drawn on the inside. First look at Albion Park, gets out of the gate very quickly, holds on the inside, then just puts in a few rough ones as a few come out from wide on the track. Maybe just gave her a bit of a fright, but able to settle real quick, and then suddenly was 3 fence, and 3 fence at Albion Park is tough, especially in this grade of horse. And was able to slow them up, and that Majida was able to slow them up down the back there, and 32 and 4 second quarter was basically the dagger there. And then the Honey Queen just goes off stride in front of us, and we're traveling absolutely peaches and cream. Cam Hart gets bloody almost kicked out of the card, and then a horse comes in front of us, and Town Echo's still trying to find a run there on the inside, and yeah, just loses about 3 or 4 lengths, and that's what it lost by in the end. So I think it would have gone close. And I'm willing to bet that Biko Swire, the emergency, is probably not going to get a start. Mahita's going to be drawn 1. Town Echo Barrier 3. Cam Hart will probably fizz it up in the score up, in the work up before, and just get it rearing to go. And maybe be able to cross Majida, or at least just go and just give it a chance. Just go up and have a look for the lead. If it's not there, it's not there. But you're there to win races, and it's a Group 1, so over the mile, just have a go. And $34. Yeah, I'm taking the $34 there, to be honest with you. And then we go to race number 8, Spirit of St. Louis. He just should be winning, really. Disappointed with his last start, even though I was a brave 4th. That's probably the race that they want to win, $150,000 stakes. Very tough field, but Drawn Barrier 2, he's drawn favorably again. He has to win. Honestly, if he's the best horse in Australia right now, he has to win that race for me. If he doesn't, then he's not the best horse in Australia. And anyone who says that, then yeah. I don't agree. So race number, oh, then we go to Menangle. Sorry, I'm getting a bit tired now, but we're nearly done. Menangle. Surface Delight race 1, surely. Been following this horse the last few starts, and it's been 2 places. And we'll just pick up this. Who was a second behind? Wow, he's a rock star. Yeah. So that was a dashing run from barrier 9, drawn the car park over the 2,300 meters. Was able to just sort of settle into it and run home. And then I think on the 25th of June, what happened here? Behind Spirit of Anzac, was drawn handy over the distance again. Just had every chance to come off the back, but was held up a bit. So I think Menangle over the mile, barrier 1 does suit. And I think there's not. I mean, we've got Boom, the ex-kiwi, he's undefeated at the moment in Aussie. Not undefeated, sorry, he's won 2 on Aussie. Then we've got Uncle Chan, goes all right, but no superstar. Lewis Lips, honest as they come. Always tries hard. It's Montana Jet, goes all right. Romanet's last start winner, but can't have Romanet, to be honest. But yeah, Surface Delight off the inside. Just have it go, son. Best rated horse in the race. Should be winning in my book. Then we go to race number 6, Be My Rose. This horse won about 3 in a row when arriving in Australia. He used to be trained by Barry Purdon. Yeah, won 3 in a row, then got it wrong, and then got it really wrong. But that was in a 149.9 mile rate. Then back to the trials. Pretty quiet one there on the 29th of June. Then a nice quick one in behind Steno, who's lining up in the Group 1 that we covered up in Albion Park on Saturday night as well. So I think if Steno comes out and does a good effort, you've definitely got to back Be My Rose, because it was only 11 meters off Steno, but wasn't on. I think it could have stayed on Steno's back if she really had to, but obviously it's a trial. You don't need to do any more work than you have to. So they're all the picks. And good luck to you if you're going to get amongst it. And we will catch you on the next episode next week. So thanks for watching. And yeah, don't forget to hit subscribe if you're new. And give me a like and give me a comment or something, because I'm doing this at 1 a.m. But I love it. So it's all good. All right. This is a Form Hunter. I'm Ed Patterson, and we'll catch you in the next one.